the Baofeng BF-F8HP Pro, today on EWS Radio. Now let's do a little size comparison. On your right, coming in at 280 pounds, no, just kidding. On your right is the Baofeng UV-17. On the left is the TID Radio TDH8. And in the middle, we've got the new BF-F8HP Pro. That's a mouthful. Wish they'd call it something simpler. This is how it compares to the original BF-F8HP. Let's have a look at the display. You may have noticed that the top 2-meter call is in zone 2. I'm going to switch it to the bottom. That's zone 1. I set it up for GMRS on zone 1 and ham radio on zone 2. This is a nice looking display, but I'll tell you what I like a lot better. I'm going to go into menu, radio settings, dual watch. I'm going to turn that off. Then go down, single watch, turn that on. And now what you have is all the information that you would expect. You have the frequency, the name of the channel, zone 2, and 001 is the number of the channel. If I switch to the B, you'll see it's in GMRS, zone 1, channel 16, GMRS 16, and the frequency. Here's how it sounds on FM radio.
Animals similar to flying squirrels. Animal services across Florida's Gulf Coast will start shifting soon to mass intake of stray, lost, and rescued pets in the wake of Hurricane Milton. For NPR News, I'm Gabriella Paul in Newport.
Hold down the VFO memory button and it goes into frequency copy mode. I'm going to switch it to VHF, transmit on another handheld, and it found the right frequency. As you know, I feel this is pretty much a gimmick and doesn't really amount to much, because if you're searching for a repeater, you get the frequency of the transmit and the CTCSS code, but you don't necessarily get the offset. That's something you have to know ahead of time. If you hold down the back button, you get the stopwatch. Press menu to start, menu to stop. Now, I think this is the stupidest extra feature that I've ever seen, but that means that someday I'll probably have my life saved by the fact that I had a stopwatch on my radio. Let me know what you think about having a stopwatch on your radio. Baofeng says they're making the firmware updatable, which is, I think, a very good thing, and I'll tell you why. Right now, I don't like the way you switch zones. You have to press menu, zone, zone select, and then pick the zone. There should be a shortcut for that, but there isn't. Okay, let's check some power levels. On 2 meters, we're getting 11.1 watts, or 11. Yeah. Let's see how I get that to focus. Well, now it's down 10.8, 10.9, but approximately 11. Let's go to 220. 220. 5.6. 5.5 watts. Okay. 440. 8.9 watts. So it has pretty good power output. Okay, let's see how it sounds transmitting on another HT and listening.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is N2EWS. Testing.
testing the audio quality of the new Baofeng F8HP Pro. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is N2EWS testing the audio quality on the BF-F8HP as a transmitter. Okay, let's talk a little bit about features. This radio has airband, 2 meters, 1.25 meters, 70 centimeters, and can operate on GMRS. It has frequency copy, CTCSS scanning, DCS scanning, and as you know how I feel about frequency copy, it's useless except for simplex contacts. It has the fancy dancy stopwatch, and it does FM radio and NOAA weather radio. It has 2 antennas, one of them for 220 and one for dual band 2 meters and 70 centimeters. The antenna that's on there is the 220 antenna. It actually says on the inside that it also works on 2 meters. I haven't done any distance testing. I will be doing distance testing when the weather cools down around here in this furnace called Texas. Now is the time we've all been dreading. On the screen you'll see screenshots of the Tiny SA Ultra for 2 meters, 220, 440, and GMRS. And you'll note that the 2 meter harmonic, the first harmonic is actually, some people call it the second harmonic, I call it the first harmonic, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But it's actually pretty bad. It's only 18.9 dB below the fundamental. Now, some people get hung up on one thing there. They see how it says 146.5 for that harmonic. That's not transmitting at 146.5. Look at the bottom. You'll see it says 293 and higher. It's after the 293. So that's actually the first harmonic, which is double of the fundamental. The way it represents it is that it's 2 delta 1 plus 146.5. In other words, that harmonic is the second peak, and the change from the fundamental is 146.5. In other words, it's twice that. It's 146.5.6 plus 145.6. And one last thing I forgot to mention, you can upload your own picture for the boot screen. As you can see, there's my dragon. In conclusion, this radio has its problem with the 2 meter band and harmonics, but it is a far sight better than the original F8HP. So I hesitate to give it a big recommendation because of the harmonic, but it's a very nice radio, and I would not hesitate to buy one. That's all, 73s, and thank you for watching.